Dun dun dun. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. In this video, I'm sure you can guess, I want to talk about Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2 continues from where Part 1 left off. Paul Atreides has joined the Fremen and tries to become one of the Fremen. This film did exactly what a sequel should do. It upped the stake and it expanded more on this world. This world of Arrakis, this world that feels larger than life, that feels extraordinary. It expanded on this world and did it so flawlessly. And if I was asked to describe this film in one or two words, I would say grand and epic. Man, this film delivered on that front. So so good. Like, I won't say necessarily so much better than the first one, but it was better than the first one because the first one was more like setting up the story, setting up the world. It's like a pilot of the story. It just sets up what you have to expect, and this second one just runs with what we've already set up. And man, it was done so well. The first thing I noticed while watching this film was the sound design. The sound design was incredible. Like every sound that was being made in the film, everything felt so epic, so grand, so full. Like it felt so incredible to listen to. Not even the music now. The music, I'm coming to the music, but the sound design on its own was fantastic. When the thumpers are making their thump thump sound, when the sun in the desert is blowing, when people are walking in the desert, like all those sounds were so accurate and so incredible and just add this massive effect. Like you could get more into the story because of how incredible the sound design was. Man, they paid so much attention to the sound and it paid off. And speaking of the sound, the music, the music was incredible. The music had this epic feeling to it. It feels like you're part of this grand epic world, and the music was so important in transporting you into that realm, and it was done so well. Like there was a point I was getting shivers, I was getting chills listening to the music. That was how impactful and how good it was. It captured the world so brilliantly. It kind of reminded me of how Game of Thrones songs always captured the essence of the world. That was how the music in this film also captured it. The score was brilliant. As good as the music was, as incredible as the sound was, if the cinematography didn't complement it so much, it's not have felt as great as it did. But the cinematography was brilliant. It was so gorgeous and beautiful to look at. Like every shot was something so special. It felt like something out of a work of art, and it was so brilliant to look at. It added so much to this world. It made you get more into this world, like feel like you're part of this world. Like there's some wide shots that you see that just captures a lot of things, and you're like, is this CGI or did they go to a desert and just put so many things everywhere and just filmed it? Like it is incredible. The cinematographer did a fantastic job capturing the essence and the greatness and the epicness of this world. And the story itself was a very entertaining and captivating story. One part of the story that I really liked, I don't want to give spoilers, but was the relationship between Paul Atreides and Chani. Their relationship, the dynamic of their relationship was something that was so brilliant to see. Like they have different perspectives of life and they have different ideologies. And Paul has this kind of ideology, he has to do something, and Chani is like, this shit does not matter. And like the way they just explore that, the way they explore the dynamic of their relationship was done so brilliantly. It was so enthralling to watch and it felt so natural. It didn't feel forced. It was so brilliant to watch and it was so entertaining and captivating. And the chemistry between Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya also added so much depth and greatness to their performance and their relationship. And it just worked so much on so many levels. And the performances in this film were fantastic. Everyone gave phenomenal performances. Rebecca Ferguson, Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya, Austin Butler. Wow, Austin Butler was fantastic in this film. He played an unhinged character, a psychopath, and the way he plays it, it could have easily been cheesy, but he didn't. He was able to balance the line between cheesy and real psychopathy, and that's one thing that made his performance so great. Because any other person or any other character or any other director self could have directed this character to play it the kind of way that would have just felt kind of somehow. But Austin Butler was able to tread the line perfectly and delivered a fantastic performance. Timothy Chalamet self, man, Chalamet's performance was incredible. I mean, he's the main character, is Paul Atreides, and he was able to capture Paul's more like a follower side of him and the leader side of him. He captured those both parts superbly. That when he was just learning something, you felt like, okay, yes, this son that is learning to become something. And when he transforms into this leader type character, like you also believed in because he was able to capture the essence of the character. Man, Timothy Chalamet performed excellently well in this film. And his performance, not just his performance, everyone's performance in this film elevated this film to a much greater level. And there was a theme of religion and belief in this story that I really liked, that felt very, very relatable. There are some part of it that believe that this person is the Messiah, and there's some other part that are like, this is just a myth, this is just a story that people tell to control other people. And that part of it was very, very relatable. Like when I saw that part, it made me think of the way we perceive religion in, well, in Nigeria. I don't know about other places, but in Nigeria, there are some people that base religion as this greatness, or they believe so much in it. And other people are like, religion is just something that the government used to control the poor people. And that was something that they brought in this story that felt very, very relatable and made the story much more interesting and made me get into the story more. I like that aspect of it, and it felt like this grand, this great world, this outlandish world could still be relatable in a very, very simple way. And I love that aspect of it. And I can't talk about this film without talking about the action sequences. The action sequences were so good. There's some fight sequences that added so much to this scene. And as good as some of the fight sequences were, there's some fight sequences that I felt like played out so quickly that they could have expanded more on it. But that's just a small thing. And you could argue that those characters that had those very, very short fight sequences were not that their fight sequences didn't add much to the story, but still I felt like those sequences could have been drawn out a little bit. But the fight sequences were amazing, the action sequences were so good, so inventive, and just draws you in and gets you so much. There's a particular fight sequence in this film that I really loved. The last fight sequence, it was so good, the choreography was so good, and the way there was no sound, no music during the fight sequences, just the grunts and the slashing of the knives. It was something that added so much to that fight scene. There was a similar fight scene in the first movie that had no sound, and that was one of the best fight scenes in the movie. And bringing that same element into this film was something that I really liked, and it elevated that fight scene to a much greater level. That fight scene was the one I enjoyed the most, and because it was so grounded, no use of music, just the actors, just the characters fighting and grunting and just making their sound. It was so good to watch, and it added so much to that scene, and I loved it so much. Overall, this film was a fantastic sequel. It expanded of the world of the original and it's up the stake. The cinematography was so good, it draws you into this world, and it was so, so beautiful to watch. The music was epic, the action sequences were amazing, the performances were fantastic. Everything came together brilliantly and worked extremely well for this film. If you loved part one of Dune, you would love part two. Even if you didn't really like part one, you will watch part two and I'm sure you are going to enjoy it. This film was amazing from start to finish. So have you seen Dune part two? What do you think about it? Comment below and let me know. If this is your first time on my channel, my G, please subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Cheers.